Hello students, can you people hear me? Yes, students, can you hear me? Okay. So last time we left, we just started Ohm's law, I guess. Yes, we just started Ohm's law in the last class, I guess. Or we have completed this. Just confirm it. We have not completed it. What I remember. Yes. Okay. So Ohm's law we had just started, I guess. I was just trying to explain you a little thing that you would have encountered in your daily life. So let us get back to the same discussion. Now, we'll start with the Ohm's law. Let us first understand some very basic phenomena, okay? That most of you would have encountered this. Or with a simple logic, simple understanding, if you have used any toy or you have connected any bulb with the battery, so you can answer these questions, okay? Just don't look at the answers, okay? Now you try to answer. So here you are having two bulbs, two cases, case 1 and case 2 in front of you. And this, in case 1, I have a bulb, okay? I have a bulb. This is bulb B1. This is bulb B1, okay? B1. And this is B2, okay? Now, just tell me which bulb glows brighter. If same bulb is used, which bulb glows brighter? You have two bulbs in case 1 and case 2. Bulb 2 is brighter. Okay, correct. Bulb 2 is brighter. Now the next question is, yes, okay. The next question is, why in case 2 the bulb glows brighter? Why in case 2 bulb glows brighter? Just from the figure you tell me. I want the answer just looking at the figure. What is the difference? Why from the figure? I don't know anything. Just tell me why it is that bulb 2, B2 glows brighter. Hmm? Because voltage is more. Because voltage is more. Okay. It is due to the battery that we have used. It is due to the battery we have used. Okay. Now, what actually happens when we use different battery? Just see this. Now, the question arises here. What actually happens? What actually makes this bulb B2 glow brighter if I'm using a higher voltage battery? So what happens? The current in the circuit changes and it is higher in second case. That's why bulb glows brighter. Okay. So I can understand from this that uh, when this filament gets heated up due to more current, what will happen? This will glow brighter. Okay, fine. But this current is increasing in case 2. That's why this bulb is glowing brighter. If the current would have been same, suppose I would have made some different arrangement. Suppose if I say this B1 and B2 are not same bulb, these B1 and B2 are not same bulb, and I am saying that if I current flows here and I current flows here, okay? So what I can say that yes, there is a possibility that resistance, if it is same, so what will happen? The bulb will grow brighter. Okay, so that's a different thing. We'll discuss that. Okay. Now, here what we get to know now that if I change the potential difference across the bulb, the current gets changed. Okay, so that is written in this red color. That means there is a relation. There is a relation between the potential difference across the conductor and the current flowing through it. Instead of conductor, here we have to assume bulb. Okay. So in nutshell, what I can say that if there is a difference, if there is a potential difference, so the potential difference is directly linked to the current. Anybody is having doubt in this statement? Anybody is having any doubt in this statement? Ask. Anybody is having any doubt in this statement? I'll move forward then. Okay, good. Now, okay, you want again. See, because I'm changing the potential, Okay, because I'm changing the battery, so what happens, the current is changed, and this current changes, and because the current changes, okay, the bulb glows brighter or the bulb glows dim as per the current flowing through it. Okay, as per the current flowing through it. Okay, Prasanna. Okay, as the current is flowing through a bulb, the filament gets heated up, the filament gets heated up, and due to this less current or more current, I can specify whether my bulb will glow brighter or whether the bulb will glow dim. Okay, now if there is a relation between the current and the potential difference of the across the conductor, so Ohms gave that relation. Okay, experimentally he found out that relation. Okay, so this is the statement. No, you no need to write, no need to write, this one is just example, this is just for your understanding, no need to write. I'll tell you. Okay, don't write, whenever it is required I'll tell you. Okay, don't worry, this is just for your understanding. If you want, you can just take the screenshot of it, don't write this, don't write this. Okay, if you want, you can take the screenshot of this. Okay, okay, all of you just focus on this statement. As per Ohm's law, we'll have a discussion, a deep, very deep discussion on this statement. Okay, this is the statement of Ohm's law. This is the statement of the Ohm's law. Statement. Don't write it. I will give you enough time. I'll give you enough time. Okay. See, as per Ohm's law, what Ohms said, that if physical conditions are kept same, if physical conditions are kept same, okay, so one word that we have to look here is physical condition. What is actually this physical condition? Okay, so physical condition, what means about this physical condition is that I'm referring to the temperature. Okay, I'm referring to the temperature at which it is kept. The temperature of the conductor should not change. The temperature of the conductor should not change. Okay, then I'm actually referring to the pressure. Okay, I'm referring to the pressure at which it is kept. Suppose if I keep in open atmosphere, the pressure will be different. Suppose if I take that same rod beneath the earth, the pressure will be different. If I take the same rod under the water, the pressure will be different. Okay, if I take the same rod at a high mountain, okay, the pressure will be different. So the pressure, okay, the two rods must be kept at the same pressure, same atmospheric pressure, same temperature. Okay, then meaning of physical condition means length of conductor. Okay, I'm talking of length of conductor. I'm talking about length of conductor. Okay, the length of the conductor should not change. Okay, the length, the if you are comparing two conductors, so their length must be same. Okay, so this is what I mean about the physical condition. Okay, now you just imagine. Okay, as I read this statement, you just imagine that you have a rod. Okay, for that rod, the physical condition should not change. That means its temperature should be constant, its pressure must be constant, okay, when you are doing the experiment, and its length must be constant when you are doing the experiment. Okay, so you have a rod with you, its temperature must be constant, its pressure must be constant, its length must be constant when you perform this experiment. All of you are clear with this? What is the meaning of physical condition? Yes. Yes, cross-sectional areas. Everything must be same. Okay, everything, cross-sectional area, length, everything must be same. I will not write everything. Huh? Like environment of the conductor, the feature about the conductor should be same. Okay, when you are analyzing one rod. Okay. Now, if the physical conditions are kept same, then 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 what happens? The potential difference across the conductor. Okay, the potential difference across the conductor means what? Across the conductor means what? Suppose this is a rod, okay, and if you apply a battery, of 2 volt, okay, so what is the potential difference across this conductor? Yes, everyone tell me, what is the potential difference across this conductor? What is the potential difference across this conductor? 2 volt, correct. If this is a battery of 2 volt, so I can assume here 2 and I can assume here 0. Okay, so the 2 volt, the potential difference across the conductor is 2 volt. Okay, did you understand this? Suppose instead of 2 volt, if I put 10 volt, so what is the potential difference now? It becomes 10. Okay, if I put 100 volt battery, so the potential difference across this battery becomes now 100 volt. Do you understand all of you this? Okay. So what it is saying, that if physical conditions are kept same, then potential difference across the conductor is directly proportional to the current that will flow through it. That means from this above statement, what I can say, that potential difference, okay, what I can write here is potential difference, okay, is directly proportional to the current, okay, through conductor, and this potential difference across what? Across conductor. Now, do you have a condition for this? What was the condition for this? Yes, what was the condition for this? Physical conditions must be same. Physical conditions, okay, physical conditions must be same. Okay, this is the condition. So this is a very important point, or the important thing you should know. This is a very important thing that you should be careful of. Okay, I hope everybody would have understood this. Yes, so this is a very important thing or a point you should remember. Okay, this is a very important point which is you have to remember this. Okay, as a law, you will have a question on this. Okay, you will have so many questions on this. If you write a board exam, you will definitely have one question on this. So I'll just ask you people to just take down this. Okay, just take the screenshot. Afterwards you can write. Just take the screenshot and afterwards you can write it. Okay, I expect everybody would have taken the screenshot. I'm moving on. Now, potential difference is directly proportional to the current. So in equations, what I can write, the potential difference V, we denote by V here. Okay, V, and here I. So V is directly proportional to I. Now, when I remove this proportionality sign, so what I get? I get a proportionality constant. So if I remove this proportionality sign, so I'll bring equality sign and I'll bring a constant R and then I. Okay, this is a very important equation marked 5 star. Okay, very important equation for you. This is our equation number 1. For them. Okay, now here V represents what? Yes, what is V? V is potential difference. V is what? V is representing potential difference. Okay, V is representing potential difference. What is I representing? What is I? Current. Okay, current. Electric current, better I write. Okay, current. Electric current. Okay, what is R? Anyone who knows this, let me know. Anybody who is aware of this? Resistance. Very good. Resistance. R is resistance. Very good. Not resistivity, Pranav. This is resistance. Okay, resistivity is a different thing. Yeah, this is a proportionality constant also. Now we'll have a very good discussion on this resistance also now. Okay, now we have to start with resistance. Okay, now just let us understand what actually this resistance means to us. Okay, what actually this resistance means to us. So first what I'll do, I'll write few important points about this. Okay, and then we will try to understand in detail what does this resistance actually means. Okay, so actually this R is a proportionality constant. This R is a proportionality constant. R is constant. Okay, R is a constant. Now this R depends on what? Suppose from equation 1 just you check. Everybody just check equation 1. Can I write R is equals to V by I? Can I write R is equals to V by I? Yes. Suppose if I increase V, what will happen to R? For a given conductor, okay, for a given conductor, for given conductor, okay, if I increase V, what will happen to R? It will also increase. How many of you say it will increase? Yes. R will also increase, R will increase, R will increase. Okay, okay, okay. R is constant. I got one answer constant. I got one answer constant. See, R will not increase here. R will not increase here. R will be constant only. R will never increase if a conductor is given to you. So R is a constant. So on which R depends now? See, because R is not depending on V, R is not depending on I. So then, what is this R depends upon? On what factors does this R depends now? So write it here, right? As an important point. Important point. What? R does not depends. R does not depends on potential difference and current. Okay, it does not depends upon the potential difference and current. On what it depends then? On what it depends? It depends upon the property of the material. Okay, it depends upon the property of the material and the physical condition. Okay, so R depends upon what factors? What factors? Material property. Material property. Material property. Material property means, suppose if I say that just take two examples. Okay, just take two examples. One I'm taking iron, okay, and one I'm taking wood. One I'm taking iron and one I'm taking wood. Okay, it will be injustice to this example actually. So let us take this example. Okay, all of you will be knowing this. One I'm taking silver, okay, and one I'm taking iron. I'm taking two metals here, okay, both the metals, silver and metal. So I know that you would have studied by now that the best conductor of electricity is silver, copper, iron, aluminum. Four examples you have: silver, copper, iron, aluminum. Which one? Out of all the four options, which is the best conductor of electricity? Silver. Silver is the best conductor of electricity. Okay. Copper is also a very good conductor. Then comes aluminum. Okay. This is better conductor. This is also better conductor. Okay. Now see here. So if this is better conductor than iron, that means what? That means what? The resistance will be more or less. The resistance will be more or less. Tell me. The resistance will be more or less. For silver, the resistance will be more or less. If iron is able to conduct more electricity, then the resistance will be more or less. The resistance has to be less. Okay, then only I can say that iron is having less current through it. Okay, and then also this property depends on this property depends upon the physical condition. Okay, physical condition, if I say that, I mean cross sectional area. Okay, suppose if I have a rod like this, okay, and then I have a rod like this, then the resistance will be different. How? I will explain you how this is different. I will explain you. Okay, then length. Okay, then temperature. So on all these factors, actually the resistance will depend. So what I'm doing right now, I'll leave this complete thing on your screen like this, okay, and give you a few seconds to just go through the points, okay, and I expect that if anyone is having doubt in this, he or she will ask, okay. Anybody is having doubt in this? Yes, anybody is having doubt in this? All those who are not taking the screenshot of the previous page, take this. Done? Done? Okay. Okay. Now, this much you understand that resistance is a constant. It does not depends upon V. It does not depends upon the current. Okay. On then what factors it depends actually? It will depend upon um, material property. It will depend upon the cross-sectional area. It will depend upon the length. It will depend upon the temperature. Okay. Fine. One more important point in this you have to write is, okay, this is just an information kind of thing, the SI unit. Okay, yeah, if anything that conducts electricity better, it will have a good conductance. Okay, it will have a good conductance. Good conductor has good conductance. Okay, so its SI unit, its SI unit, okay, is ohms. Is ohms. Okay, and it is denoted by, it is not ohms actually, it is ohm only. Okay, it is denoted by this symbol. Okay, this is actually called as omega. This is a Greek letter. Okay, this is actually omega for them, but we use this for the denotation. Okay, understood? Understood this thing? Okay, let us understand, let us have a visualization of resistance. Actually, what is this resistance? What causes resistance? Okay, we'll look into that first. So now what we are going to see is we are trying to understand this resistance. Okay, we are trying to understand what is this resistance. Okay, so understanding resistance now, Now let us assume that you are having a bike, okay, bike, scooty, whatever you want, okay. Now on that, okay, you're riding it and you are moving on a road, you're moving on a road, okay, you're moving on a road, okay, in this direction. Now actually this road is a kind of road where everybody is allowed to move anywhere, where everybody is allowed to move everywhere. So you are here, this person can move here, this person is able to move here, anywhere, random path, random path. Okay. So this, you are riding a bike on a road. Okay. Just try to visualize the thing, what I'm saying. Don't write anything. Just keep your pen down and try to listen. Okay. And focus on the screen. You are on the bike, you are riding a bike on a road, and the road is such that everybody is able or everybody is allowed to move in any random direction. Okay. Now in this case, just answer for yourself. Okay. Now in this case, will you face difficulty while riding the bike? In this case, when everybody is allowed to move everywhere, will you have a problem in riding the bike in a forward direction? Yes, everybody will have a problem in riding the bike. Okay, because everybody is able to move here and there, so you will have a resistance. You will have a resistance. Correct. Now, same way, if I try to build an analogy, if I try to build an analogy, okay, so there is a conductor, there is a conductor, okay, this is a free electron, this is a free electron, okay, and now we have so many free electrons, we have so many free electrons, okay, and we have so many bounded electrons. Now just tell me that, is this free electron that you are looking here, okay, the free electron that you have here, is will it collide with some electrons or not while moving? While it is moving in a zigzag path, while it is moving in a zigzag path, there is a possibility that it will strike to another electrons. Yes, it will. Correct. It will strike. So when it is striking, when it is hitting, when it is colliding, okay, when this free electrons is hitting the another electron, and this electron is colliding with another electron, so it will face any resistance or not? Yes. Will it face any resistance or not? Yes. When this electron is moving in a forward direction or in any random path, so this will have any this collision. Correct? Yes or no? So this collision, this resist, this property, this opposition to this, to the motion of this electron is only called as resistance. Understood this thing? Yes. Do you understand this thing now? So what I can write now here, what I'm going to write here is the opposing force, okay, the opposing force that is offered by the conductor to the flow of electron, to the flow of free electrons, better we say. So what I can write from this above discussion, what I can write, that the resistance of a conductor, resistance of conductor, okay, resistance of conductor, how do you define it? It is the it is the opposing or obstruction, okay, it is, can be defined as obstruction, can be defined as obstruction, okay, to the flow of electron, to the flow of free electrons, we say free electrons. So do you understand this now, this definition of resistance? Anybody is having any kind of doubt, please ask. Anybody is having any kind of problem in this, let me know. Yes. Shall I move then? Shall I move? Okay. Yes, I'm not getting enough answers. Just take the screenshot, dear. Venkatesh, just take the screenshot. Yeah, the number of free electrons, no? It will depend. How many free electrons are there? It will depend. Pranav. It will definitely depend. If there are more free number of electrons, it will conduct better electricity. Okay. This is the only difference. No? This is the only difference between a good conductor and a bad conductor. Okay. The number of free electrons in a good conductor are very high. That's why it is conducting electricity, a good amount of electricity. But for a bad conductor, okay, it is bad conductor. I'm not saying that it will not conduct electricity. Never it happens like that. Okay. The number of electrons that are free in the in bad conductors are lesser. That is why they are called as bad conductors. Okay. Bad conductor, good conductor. There's a difference between conducting a bad conductor and a complete non-conducting body. A complete non-conducting body is a different thing. That will be a different thing. And bad conduction, bad conductor is a different thing. Okay. So it will definitely depend upon the number of free electrons a rod or a resistance is having. So shall I move forward? Yes. Yes. I'm waiting for your answers. Okay, I'm moving it now. Okay. Now, again, just ask yourself these questions. Now, what I'm going to explain you, okay, what I'm going to explain you now, just try to answer in your own mind and try to understand. And if you don't get that point, so you can ask in the chat. Okay, no need for replying. If you don't understand, then only reply. Okay, if you understand, well and good. Now, so here I have written three things. Here I have written one is this material property, and here I have written these three things. Okay, so in 10th syllabus, this temperature dependency is not there. Temperature dependency is not there. You will study this temperature dependency only in class 12th. So this actually temperature dependency is not in your syllabus. We will see how it depends upon the material, how it depends upon the cross section, and how it depends upon the length. We'll try to understand these 3 points. Okay. Let us start with the material now. Let us start with the material. Just now I explained that what is good conductor, bad conductor. Okay. Just now I explained that suppose if a conductor, if a body is having, now suppose I'll take example and then try to explain you. Suppose this is conductor A and this is conductor B. Okay. Now if I say this is B conductor, and now if I say that RA is greater than RB, okay, and given that physical conditions are same, then what you can think about this? If length is same, if cross sectional area is same, if temperature is same, and if I say the resistance of A is greater than B, what can you say now? Tell me. What can you say? The material is same or different? Yes, the material is same or different? I'm asking the material same or different? Both are conductors. Both are good conductors. If given that if physical condition is same, what I can say? I can say two different material I'm having here. Two different material. Do you understand this? I'm having two different material. So this is the first thing that I wanted you to explain. Okay, that if the material is different, so there is a possibility that for a given physical condition, for a given length, for a given cross section, for a given temperature, the two conductors, if they are having different resistance, so they must be of two different material. So this is how it depends on the material. Depends upon the material. Now suppose I will give you an example. Suppose I have a iron rod. Okay, fine. I have a copper rod. Okay, very good. I connect this with a 2-volt battery, and I connect this with a 2-volt battery. Okay, everything is same. This is iron rod, or you take copper. This you take iron. Okay, this you take iron. Okay, length is same. LCU is equals to LFE. Okay, area of CU is equals to area of FE. Temperature, room temperature. Okay, room temperature, both. Now tell, where will you have less resistance? Where you will have less resistance? Case A, case B. Case A, case B, copper. Very good, very good. I will have less resistance in A. That means copper. Why? Because copper is a better material to conduct electricity. Okay. So everybody understood this, how this R depends upon the material. How does this R depends upon the material? Everybody understood? Yes? Everybody understood? Answer in the chat, dear. Okay. Okay. So if copper is having less resistance, I can say from here that copper will have less resistance than iron. Okay. And V. Okay. Better I write potential difference. Better I write potential difference is same. Okay. So current in Cu will be greater or current in iron will be greater. Can you help me with this? Yes. In which the current will be greater? Can you help me with this? Copper. Very good. Very good. Copper, the current will be greater. Copper, the current will be greater. Copper, the current will be greater. Okay. In the copper, the current is going to be better. So, can you understand now how this current depends upon the this resistance depends upon the material? Okay. I hope everybody understood. Sanvia, shall I explain it once again, or did you understand? I see you are having problem anywhere. Sanvia, understood? Sure. Okay, fine. Now, next thing what we are going to see is physical condition. This was the first thing that we had seen. This is the second thing what we are going to see, physical condition. Okay, physical condition. So for the second thing, to understand about the cross section, how I'm saying actually, if the cross section is different, okay, the resistance will change. Let us understand by that. Let us understand by that. Okay. Now consider yourself again on a bike. You are again going on a bike, and I give you two options. I give you two options. Okay. You're going on a bike. Okay. You're going on a bike. Now, assuming the number of people per unit area same, assuming density to be same. Understood? Okay. Or the number of free electrons. Okay. Like that you try to understand. I have two options for you. One is A, case A, and one is B, case B. Okay. Now try to understand. You are on the bike. You are given two options. One, a narrow road. One, a broader road. One, a narrow road. One, a broader road. Which one you will choose for better movement? Which one you will choose for a better movement? Case B. Why? Mohan, Harit, and Ellen. You have written B, and most of you are now writing B. Few of you are writing A. Case B is most of the people who are writing. Okay, I got the answer. More area, easy to move, more space. Okay, can I say more space, less resistance? Can I say here more space, so less resistance? So less resistance for me. Okay, here I can say less space, hence more resistance. Do you understand this point? Correct, correct. Okay, so if you understand this example, now again I am taking the same example and putting in conductor. Okay, we have a conductor, C, and we have one conductor like this. Okay, now this electron has to move in this direction, and here this electron has to move in this direction. In which case it will have higher resistance? Case A, and case B. Okay, where resistance is more, A or B? Where resistance is more, A or B? Resistance is more in A. Where current is more, A or B? Where current will flow better for given potential difference, for given conditions? Okay, where will be current more? Yes, tell me, where will be the current more? Case B. Case B, the current will be more because the resistance is less there, so current will be more there. So do you understand this? Do you understand? All of you understood this? Okay, but good. Okay, so I can say here that if I write it like this as an important point. Okay, note. In note, I'm writing this point. As cross-sectional area increases, what I can say, resistance. As cross-sectional area increases, what will happen to resistance? Come on, tell me. Cross-sectional area increases, resistance decreases. Very good. Resistance decreases. What happens to current? What happens to current? What happens to current? Resistance decreases, current increases. Current increases. So will you remember this? So from here I can say resistance is inversely proportional to area. Can I say resistance is inversely proportional to area? Can I say resistance is inversely proportional to area? Okay, good. So this was the first thing that you have to understand. Okay, this was the first thing that you had to understand in this second physical condition. Second thing, it also depends on length here. How it actually depends on length, let us see that. How actually it depends on length. Okay, now again the same example. You sit on the bike. Okay, you sit on the bike, and this time the road is same, but the length you have to move is different. Okay, here you have to move L1 distance, here you have to move L2 distance. Okay, here you have to move L1 distance, and here you have to move L2 distance. Now you tell me, to move from end A to end B here and to end B dash here. Okay, where actually you will have more resistance? Yes, where you will have more resistance? Case okay, I have, okay, let me take this as xy. So this is end x, this is y, and this is y dash. But this is case A, this is case A, and this is case B. Now you tell me, in which case you are having more resistance, case A or case B? More resistance, dear, more resistance. How in case A you will have the number of electrons? Okay, I'll explain this. See here. I guess so many people are having doubt in this. I will explain you. See here. What is resistance? Come back to the resistance. What is the resistance? That how much people are ready to hit me, or how many people I can hit. Okay, how many people I can hit, or how many people are ready to hit me. You can understand either way. So now suppose you are here. Okay, you are here, and in this on this road, will you have, suppose I'm having three people with whom you can hit. Now, suppose you are having here, suppose you are here, okay, suppose you are here, will you have three people only here? Okay, no, you will have a higher number of people. You will have more people, more number of electrons with whom you can hit, more number of electrons with whom you can hit. Okay, so what I can say, to move across the conductor, see here, if anybody is getting confused with the density, so density is a different thing. Density is constant. Okay, but resistance can vary. Why resistance can vary? Because you have to move across the conductor, dear. You have to move across the conductor. And when you have to move across the conductor, you will see that how many electrons or how much resistive force you are getting. Okay. So to move electrons, okay, so electrons to move across the conductor, are offered resistive force more in case B. Because length is same, na? Number of free electrons, dear. Rajiv, number of free electrons. See, if you are having a, suppose you are having an electron. You are having a conductor. You are having two wire. Okay, one is 1 meter, one is 10 meter. One is 1 meter, one is 10 meter. Now, you people tell me that a free electron that I have marked here, I will see the motion of these two electrons. Okay, this electron here in case A, how many electrons it will hit? It will hit, suppose 1000. It is going to hit 1000 different electrons. Suppose I'm just taking a number, a fixed, imaginary number. Okay, in this case, it is hitting some 1000 electrons. The electron here, will it hit here 1000 only? Will it here hit 1000 only? Yes, reply to this. All of you just think about this and reply to me. In case A, this electron, suppose if it is hitting 100, so will this electron in the same conductor of 10 meter, will it hit 1000 only? No, never. So which case you are having more resistance, in case A or in case B? Yes, in case A or case B, where you are having more resistance? Obviously here, because here there are more number of electrons with whom you may collide, you will get a resistive force. Okay, so that is why I have written here that electron to move across the conductor, okay, are electrons to move across the conductor are offered resistive force more in B, not in A. Okay, so try to understand this, that if the length is more, like this, the length is 10 meter, so this electron will be able to hit some, suppose greater than, definitely I cannot say the number, so I can say suppose 10,000, suppose say 10,000, I'm assuming this data, just imaginary data. Okay, so this electron will be offered resistive force by these many electrons. See, this electron will be offered by the resistive force by 1000 only. Okay, so where is the resistance more? In case B, the resistance is more. Yes, there is very simple logic. I can understand by simple reasoning. Okay, so I can say that as the length of the conductor increases, the resistance increases. So I can write a note here. I can write the second note here. Okay, note 2. This was note 1 here. Okay, this is note 2. What we have written here? Okay, as length increases, as length of conductor increases, Okay, as the length of conductor increases. As the length of conductor increases. Okay, what will happen to resistance? What will happen to resistance? Tell. What will happen to resistance? Resistance increases. Resistance increases. What will happen to current? What will happen to current? What will happen to current? Current I need. I need current. Resistance is increasing. Current is decreasing. Very good. Current decreases. So I can write here. Can I write here like that? Resistance is directly proportional to length. Can I write it like this? Can I write it like this? Yes. Okay. Now just see this question, equation 3 and my equation number 2. Okay. Okay. So I'm combining equation 2 and 3. I'm combining equation 2 and 3. Combining equation 2 and 3. What I'll have? L by A, and when I remove this proportionality sign, so I will bring a constant L by A. Okay. Where rho is resistivity. Resistivity. Okay. It corresponds to the material property that we had seen in the first case. This rho corresponds to the material property. Just see here, we have studied this now. See this thing, this one, this example, where we had seen that if for a given physical condition, if I have a copper wire and if I have an iron wire, so in which case resistance will be more. So I know that the material properties I know, and I can say that resistance, okay, or the current in copper wire for a given potential difference will be greater than the current in the iron. So I can say from that. So based on that fact, here I can say that it depends upon the material. Okay, R depends on the material. So for that only, this row is brought here. This row will be brought here. Okay, this row will be brought here. So this is again a very, very important equation for you. This is again a very, very important equation for you. 5-star equation. Equation number 4. Okay, equation number 4. Now, I'll leave here. Okay, in the next class, what we will do, we'll start from here. Okay, from this equation number 4 only I'll start. Now I'm giving you time. Just take down the screenshots. If anybody who has missed anything, just take down the screenshots. Okay. Yes, all those who are having doubt, you can ask. I'll leave the screen. Okay. So Harit is asking that when cross-sectional area increases, then the amount of material increases. Okay, correct. Which increases the amount of atom for electrons to bump into. Okay, shouldn't it increase resistance? Very good. Very good question you have asked. Okay, I'll get to you. I'll get back to you. See here. Actually, what happens, Harit, try to understand one thing. That whenever a conductor, okay, is connected to a battery, whenever a conductor is connected to a battery, that electron, hello, hello, hello,
Yes, sir.
sir, give me just 2-3 minutes more because one student is asking doubt.
Okay. You want to make me as host, right?
Huh?
You want to make me, make you as host.
Yeah. I'll just leave after 2-3 minutes. One student has asked out, sir.
But you can say, sir, no issues about it.
Okay.
Mhm.
So listen, what Harit, that when a conductor is connected to a battery, no, or any source, so what happens? This electron moves in a straight line. This electron moves in a particular path. Okay, that path is important. Okay, so it has a definite motion. Understood? But when it is not connected to a battery, it moves in a zigzag way, and its net displacement is zero in that case. Okay, its net displacement is zero when it is not connected to any source. But when it is connected to a source like battery, a source like AC power source, okay, so it has a particular motion in a particular direction. Now, we assume that we make assumption that that electron will move along that direction, okay, and while moving into that direction, if you increase the width also, so it is not going to hit the upper particles, okay, it will hit the particles in the same length, in the same direction, okay. Just try to understand it. I'll give you this, I'll try to explain you with this. You can understand that if an electron is here, okay, it will move like this when connected to a source. So electron here will not affect it, okay. But in the same way, if I increase the length, so if an electron is moving like this, so another electron present here, it will affect it, okay. So this electron when connected to a source will have a definite path motion, okay. Those things you'll study in class 12. This motion is called as drift velocity, displacement, okay, relaxation time. We calculate all those things, okay. So just for now, just try to understand that when electron moves in a particular path, so this electron above it will not have any effect, or they will not provide this resistance. All those electrons that are in the path where it can collide or it can hit the another particle like this will give the resistance, okay. So just take down the screenshots, all those who have missed this anything, this you would have written, this one you take, this one is just for understanding, or you take, do fast, all of you do fast, you have another class. Take this, done. Then you take this one, this is important. What is resistance? Okay, then you take this, done. And that's it. This statement is important, this Ohm's law statement is very important, okay. The first slide is just an example for your understanding, okay. If still anybody wants to take, you just take this, and this was the first slide, okay. So from next class we will start with this resistivity part, okay. I'll explain you this fourth equation again, okay, and then we'll start from here, okay. Thank you.